Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel and to this very basic art haul video. It's not that the items themselves are basic, it's just that the way I'm filming this is really basic, and I hope you'll bear with me because I'm going to show you some lovely things. But I've had these on the floor in the studio since they arrived. Now I just keep waiting for a sunny day to film and it doesn't happen. When it's sunny I happen to be doing something else, and by the time I get in here it's really dull and dark and grey outside, so the lighting isn't particularly good. This is why I'm holding the camera with my hand so that I can get close in to the action being the beautiful art materials, and I can show them to you properly. I think if I mount the camera overhead it's just going to be too dark in here, so we're just going to get on with it like this. I'm going to quickly show them to you, and then we're going to, in the second part of the video, swatch them and see what they're like. Right, we're going to go through these and I'm going to tell you the prices this time as well, because I don't think I did that in my last art haul, and I don't know about you, but when people show me art materials I really want to know the prices. So the first item is this Stonehenge Aqua Cold Press black watercolour paper. So this is a pad of paper. The sheets are 8 by 10 inches and you get 15 in the pad. So I've never had this before. I'm really curious to see what this is like. They say it's for watercolour and gouache on the cover. I can see how gouache would work on black paper, but I'm really curious to see how watercolour, being more transparent, will look on this paper. So as you can see, I haven't opened it yet. I've been longing to try it, but I've been keeping it for this video, so we're going to have a look at that and we'll test that later. Oh, by the way, that cost £14.40, which makes that just under £1 a sheet. Let's look at the Royal Talens sketchbooks. I ordered 4 of these in different sizes because they were recommended by Emma Carlisle. I'm a member of her sketchbook club and I'm really getting into working in a sketchbook now. So I've ordered more because I thought they'd be good for different projects, or these tiny ones, for example. These are only 12 by 12 centimetres. They're really sweet, look at that. I got one in white and one in black. Perfect for popping in my backpack when I'm out on a walk. So I've always got a sketchbook with me. They were only £4.80 each. This one was £5.40, and this one, oh, I'm knocking all of the pencils, was £5.90, and you see that one is in the landscape format. They all came wrapped in plastic, by the way. I took the plastic off these two because I was very curious. I wanted to see the quality of the paper. And yeah, and what was I saying? Emma Carlisle recommended these. They're like a moleskin sketchbook in that they have the elastic around them, and they have this lovely, let's see if I can really get close up on that, this lovely sort of ivory cream round cornered paper. It feels really nice quality. It doesn't feel that different to a moleskin, to be honest. The moleskin for this size, if I can pick this up with one hand, is about £17, and this one was £5.40. So I'm curious to use these and see how good they are once I try them with lots of different media, but it looks hopeful. I'm really liking them so far. So the next thing I'm going to show you was actually a free gift. With my latest Jackson's Art order, they sent this. It's a Tombow alcohol-based marker, dual tipped, and it's in a nice sort of maroony burgundy colour. So it'll be interesting to try that out because I've never used Tombow markers before. I also stocked up on some more Caran Luminance pencils. These are £3 a pencil, so they're quite expensive, and this is why I also buy them individually, so I just add to my collection whenever I feel I can afford to add some more. So I have 10 new pencils here. 2 of them are Payne's Grey. That's a colour that I've had before and it's my favourite, or certainly one of my favourite colours. It's the one I seem to use the most, so I thought I would stock up so that I don't ever run out of them. And the other 8 colours are all new colours, so we'll be swatching these. And yeah, I would recommend actually, if you're going to buy some coloured pencils and you have a particular colour palette that you tend to work in, I think it's a really good idea to buy them individually, because then you're not buying a big set and, you know, ending up with lots of colours that you're perhaps not even going to use. I also ordered 2 more Caran Neocolor crayons in grey and light grey, because unsurprisingly, these are the colours I find that I'm using the most in my work. I'm loving them for layering over the top of paintings, so I thought I'd just order 2 more so that I don't run out, and they are £1.60 each. If you can now hear some knocking noises in the background, I think that's Dominic doing some demolition work downstairs. He's doing something, I don't know, he's been taking walls down and all sorts, so we'll just have to ignore any noises. This set of pens and these ones both came from Amazon, so we'll look at those in a minute, but I did get 4 of the Faber-Castell Pitt Artist pens from Jackson's as well. So this is an extra because I've been using this one. I already have one of these in dark indigo. This is the soft brush pen, and yeah, I'm loving this. It's a great colour for night skies. So I sometimes layer it, so I do like 2 or 3 layers, and it gives this beautiful depth. So I'm using it quite a lot, so I got an extra one of those. I also got the dark indigo in the normal brush pen, and a light indigo, and also this gorgeous earth green colour. So we'll be swatching those as well later. Oh, by the way, they were £2.50 each. So these are Holbein Acryla Gouache paints. I use these in my work all the time, but I've never used any of these 6 colours that I bought this time. So they cost £5, is it £5.30? I'm just referring to thing, yeah, £5.30 each. And I have mustard and a coral red, jaune brilliant, turquoise blue, misty blue and olive. I think that is a beautiful colour palette. So I look forward to swatching those for you and seeing how they look on the black and the white paper. This is just the cutest little pencil sharpener possibly ever. I couldn't believe that it came in its own little pouch. I'm going to open it up and we'll have a look inside and I will show you. So not only does it come in its own little pouch, it also comes in a little plastic container as well. You see it has 2 holes there. Well, normally with a double pencil sharpener you would expect them to be for different size pencils, but apparently with this one you sharpen it in the number 1 section here, and then when you've sharpened it you go and put the end of the pencil into this tiny hole here, into number 2, and you just really sharpen the tip so that you get a really sharp point to your pencil. I think it comes with extra blades in this blue bit here. I'm really excited to use this because this was recommended to me. I never thought that I would spend this much on a pencil sharpener. So hold on while I go and find out exactly how much it was. £13.80. There you go. That is more than I ever thought I would spend on a pencil sharpener, but it does come highly recommended and I really want sharp points on my pencils. So this is a bit of an investment. It'll be interesting to see how good it is. Before we look at the paper, we'll just have a quick look at these pens from Amazon. So I found this pack of Faber-Castell artist pens, the brush pens, in shades of grey, and because I use grey a lot in my work, this seemed like quite a good buy. I think it was £11 something, I can't remember exactly, and I don't have the receipt here. It was cheaper than buying them separately, so I thought I would give those a go because I'm loving the pens so much. And then I also ordered some more Posca pens. I am loving using Posca pens in my work at the moment, in the mixed media pieces. So I got a grey, slightly smaller one in white. This one, is that black? Yeah, we've got black, we have a beige and a slate grey as well. I already have the slate grey and I'm using it a lot, so I got an extra. And I think those were, they were £2 something each. They weren't terribly expensive. But yeah, we'll be swatching all of those later. So finally we're on to the different types of paper I ordered. These are all in just loose sheets. So this one here, I don't know whether you can see that through the plastic, but it has a lovely decal edge. Is it a deckled edge? Is it a decal or a deckled? I don't know. I think it's a decal edge, but I'm not sure. That's really nice paper and it was fairly expensive. Let's have a look on the receipt. Then I can tell you exactly what it was. It was Arches Aquarelle £300 hot pressed paper. So it's really, really smooth. You can see there it doesn't have much of a texture at all and it's very heavyweight paper. It cost quite a lot. As I said, it was £11.70 a sheet. So I got 2 sheets and I had them cut it. They offer a free paper cutting service. So I basically got them to cut it into quarters. So I have 8 sheets that are that kind of size. So the Arches Aquarelle paper is new to me. This is something I'm experimenting with at the moment because I wanted a really thick and sturdy hot press paper. So the other one is something I use all the time. It's a Bockingford paper. This one is the £200 version. I sometimes use the £250 and it's very inexpensive. It's a gorgeous paper. It's acid free. It's lovely and thick, so it doesn't buckle when you paint on it. And let's have a look and see just how much it was for a sheet. It was much, much cheaper than the other one. £2.88 a sheet. So I bought 3 sheets and I got them to cut it in half. I don't know why I said that like that. Cut it in half. So we end up with 6 sheets that are this size. So that's really quite a nice large sheet of paper. I'll probably end up cutting some of them up even smaller, but it's a good manageable size for me to store. But I'd really recommend this paper because it's so inexpensive, but it's great quality. So, oh, did I explain about the surface? I don't think I did. This is what's called a knot surface. So it's somewhere in between really rough watercolour paper and this smooth hot pressed paper. And lastly, we have some paper I haven't tried before. Again, this one is really interesting. It's come with a white border. I wasn't expecting it to have a white border, but it's a lovely sort of velvety looking paper. It's actually called, let's have a look, where is it on here? Art Spectrum Colourfix Smooth Pastel Paper in deep black, and it was £5.20 a sheet. The sheets are 50 by 70 centimetres. So they're quite large. I'm probably going to end up cutting that up into smaller sheets, but yeah, interesting looking paper. So it'll be good to try the Neocolor crayons and the Caran pencils on that. Okay, so a slight disclosure. I already filmed part of this video. I've been waiting so long to use this pencil sharpener and I've heard such good things about it. And obviously, as I said earlier, it's very expensive and comes highly recommended. But I have just tried it and it's mangled 2 of my pencils and I have no idea what I'm doing wrong. I just used it as you would a normal pencil sharpener. And I don't know whether you can see that, but that's what it did to the graphite pencil. And then I tried on a Luminance, one of the new Luminance pencils. Look what it did. Just completely mangled it. So I don't know what I'm doing wrong with the pencil sharpener. I'm going to watch a video on it, which seems ridiculous because it's a pencil sharpener. But maybe I'm using it incorrectly. I don't know whether I'm pushing the pencils in too far. But it was making a really weird sound when I was using it and it just seems to be wrecking them. So the pencil sharpener at the moment, I'm not impressed, but it may be that I'm using it incorrectly. Okay, so let's swatch the Luminance pencils first. So we'll start with the one that got mangled, which is the dark sap green. So I'm just going to, I'm not going to swatch really neatly this time. I'm going to really scribble so you can see how they look when you layer them. Oh, sorry, I'm rocking everything on the desk. You see that? Look at that beautiful colour. It's kind of like a pine green. Gosh, I love that colour. And so if we do it lightly, look at the amazing texture. I just love the feel of these pencils. There we go. Yeah, I think that's going to be one I use a lot. So we'll just write dark sap green so we don't forget. What's the next one I could do? Let's do burnt ochre 50%. Oh, this is another one that feels nice. Some of them have a slightly waxier, creamier feel than the others. Some of them, not many to be honest in the Luminance set, but some of them, Luminance range should I say, some of them are a bit more gritty. I guess it depends on the pigment, but that one is beautiful. That would be really good for an autumnal colour palette. Yeah, that's really nice. I think they're both colours I'm going to use a lot. Okay, so burnt ochre 50%. And then this is my old favourite Payne's Grey. I'm just going to do a bit of a swatch because many of you may not have seen this. I did another art haul where I swatched the Payne's Grey, but look at that. The most amazing colour. It's the one I use the most often, and it's one of my favourite colours because it's very versatile. Like if you want to, let's just see if we go through. See, it layers on the top of that one so well. Yeah, that's really nice. I love these three together actually. Okay, next one we're going to use this gorgeous, slightly purpley. Now I don't use purples in my work very often, but I thought it would be handy to have one that isn't too bright. So this is called Light Aubergine. And that's gorgeous. That's a really warm purple. It's quite brownish in some ways. This is going to be really good for sort of moody landscapes. Yeah, love it. And I have another aubergine here. This is Crimson Aubergine. Let's try that one there. So much more red. It's almost like kind of a claret, would you call that? Yeah, I don't think this is something I'll use really often, but it would be great for, I think, perhaps layering. Yeah, it could be quite interesting to experiment with that. Oh, I haven't got any space to write Crimson Aubergine. I'll have to do this. Next one to try is Burnt Sienna 10%. I love these subtle, muted kind of colours. Use them for so many things. This is sort of like a dusky pink. Oh, I love this. Oh, aren't they nice together, those three? This one's slightly more gritty than some of the others, but a beautiful colour nonetheless. This one is steel grey. Oh, this is a lovely smooth waxy one. It's funny how they feel so different. Now this reminds me of Payne's Grey 30%. If I had my other pencils in here, they're actually in the other room, I would show you how similar they are. Well, I think they're similar. My memory, if my memory serves me correctly. But yeah, these four together are really nice actually. I didn't buy these to make a specific palette, I just bought colours that I thought would be a good addition to the ones I already have. And I'll be making some colour palette videos soon where I put together specific colour palettes, and I'll be going through all of my different pencils, and I'm going to be doing some for paints as well, so look out for those. Right, this is Burnt Ochre 10%. Oh, that's another lovely one for an autumnal palette. Yeah, I think these will be going in my autumnal palette. Possibly this as well. Slightly, it's kind of heathery colour, isn't it? Right, and this is just the white. There's no good swatching that because you just won't see it, but we can see how well it layers over the top of others. It does in a very subtle way. This could be good if you wanted to do like when I do a ploughed field and I just want really, really like faint lines. Yeah, that looks good. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't look white, but it's quite transparent in a way, but that's a really nice effect. Can you see that? So this could be something I use just for doing detail like that, or I may use it on the black paper. It's obviously going to come into its own when I use it on the black paper. So there are the, what's that, 9 different shades of Luminance that I have bought recently. I just thought I'd show you this. This is the Luminance pencils swatched much more neatly. This is my entire collection so far. So it's growing. Okay, I'm just going to make a note at the top here that they are Luminance. And here we're going to swatch just the 2 Neocolor. They're Neocolor 1, which means, I don't know whether I said that earlier, they're the non-water soluble ones. So we have grey. Let's give that, look at that, so beautiful, such a lovely colour. Look at the variation you can get there. Isn't that a thing of beauty? I do love these so much. And then we have just, yeah, light grey. I'll just put that one next to it. Really beautiful shades of grey. And I love these for adding texture. There you go. They actually go really well with the Luminance. So I'm just getting up to have a look on the screen, see what it looks like. I wish you could see them in reality. Right, so let's turn the page and then start with the pens. Right, first of all, this is the Pitt Artist pen soft brush in dark indigo. Look at that. Oh, they're such a pleasure to use. Look, it looks like I've just painted it, doesn't it? And if you layer these, you can get a really nice, like if I just do it like that. And then here, if I really cover it. See, look at the depth you can achieve with a couple of layers. This is brilliant for night skies. So we'll just put, oh, hard to write with though. Dark indigo, gosh, it's massive. Dark Indigo SB soft brush. Yeah, that is really hard to write with, but that's okay. I'm not using them for writing. And this is the Dark Indigo, but this is just the brush pen. Sorry if I'm rocking the camera again, by the way. Ah, yeah, that's much stiffer. This is more like using pen. The other one's more like using a brush. If we go over that again. Perfect for layering. I love them. Yes, you have more control with this one, but it's not such, I mean, this one really looks like I could have painted that. And the other ones I think are, yeah, they're just brush, aren't they, and not soft brush. So this is the light indigo. And when they say it's light, they really mean it's light. But again, you can layer and you get slightly more depth. It gets quite a bit darker with the second layer. This is perfect for doing like an underdrawing and then perhaps layering the Neocolor or the Luminance on top. This would make a really nice base. I don't know whether we're actually going to be able to see it if I write light indigo. Oh yeah, just about. Yeah, I really like that. I think I'm going to use that a lot. Very subtle but versatile. And this is earth green. Now their polychromos pencil, I have the earth green in that, and I've had that for about 3 years now, and I love it. It's such a beautiful green. So let's see. Yep, this is a beautiful green too. Oh, this is going to be amazing for landscapes. Let's see how deep we can make that. Yeah, you see, if you layer these, they get so much darker. So I'll just do... They're really pleasurable to use as well. Right, so they're the ones I got from Jackson's. And then I bought, if you remember, this set. Of course you remember, you've only just watched. I'm confused because I filmed the first bit of this video about 2 weeks ago. So to me it's a long time ago. To you it's mere minutes. Right, so these are the ones I got from Amazon, and they're the shades of grey. So let's get into these. Cold Grey 3, Cold Grey 4, Cold Grey 6. Yeah, that's 6, isn't it? They're in Roman numerals. Warm Grey 3, Warm Grey 4, and Warm Grey 5. Oh, okay. Right. Let's try them. Let's try the warm greys first. I'm just going to swatch these a little bit. We won't keep layering because we need to hurry this up a bit. Warm Grey 1V. Yeah, these are really nice. Getting quite a collection of brush pens now. Ooh, this is a lovely one. Has slightly something of the Payne's grey about it. Except obviously it's a bit warmer. Warm Grey 5. Okay, they're really nice. Greys are just so versatile. I think you never have enough greys. Okay, this is Cold Grey. Oh, look at that beautiful blue tone. It's not the neatest page of swatches, is it? Oh, it's just slightly darker, that one. Ooh, that is lovely. Actually, I'd say that one's probably more Payne's grey. Cold Grey 6. What's that? V1. So there we go. There are brush pens. So next up, we're going to quickly swatch the Posca pens and this free Tombow alcohol-based marker pen. that they very kindly gave me. So let's start with the Posca. I've already unwrapped them. They were all coated in plastic, which is really annoying for the environmental reasons, aside from anything else. And then obviously you have to shake them. Just, you hear there's a ball in there, a ball bearing. It shakes the paint up, and then I had to do the pumping for probably about a minute on each pen to get the ink to flow down. But now it is. I'm gonna I love Poscas. You can get a certain amount of control and precision with them, and they do seem to lay over the top of most different materials. Lovely depth of colour. I don't think that they go through. No, they don't bleed through. Yeah, just a really good addition to my drawing materials. This one is slate grey. Again, it's grey. I absolutely love grey. I'm actually, for speed, not going to write down the names, just to kind of show you the different colours. Really, it's so nice to draw with. That one is grey. So the slate grey is really quite a deep bluish grey, and that's much paler. We have beige. I don't know how much this will show up. Oh, actually, that's a really nice colour. Oh, I like that. That's a good neutral. I don't have many colours of Poscas, and this is a tiny white Posca, just for doing details. And look, it just goes over the top of the others so nicely. And it being smaller, oh dear, put my hand in that. It being smaller, it you have much more precision with this, which is really nice. So I use the white Posca a lot, the smaller one, for details going over the top of whether I'm using just watercolour and gouache or pencil and Neocolor. Okay, so this is the Tombow alcohol-based dual-tipped marker. I think because it's alcohol-based, it's going to go through to the next page. So do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to just put, this is what it came in, so I'm just going to put that there, and we'll just give it a go. Ooh, that feels really nice and smooth. I've never used Tombow markers before. I can smell it slightly, that's because it's alcohol based, but it's not terrible. So yeah, you can get a variation in the line, which is really nice. Oh, it feels lovely to use. That's a really nice colour actually. And the other end is a chisel tip. Yeah, oh yeah, this is lovely. The thing that put me off buying Tombow markers is because I read that they're not light fast. I mean, they're good if you're just doing sketchbook work, but because I do a lot of work to sell, I always try to check that the materials I'm using are light fast, and yeah, that's what put me off them. But they're great if you're just working in a sketchbook, or you're doing work that is going to be scanned and you're going to be using the digital copy and you're not selling the original artwork. So there we go. There are the other pens, and yeah, really like all of those. I actually look forward to somehow using this in my sketchbook. Let's see if it's come through. Yes, it has, because it's alcohol based, whereas the Poscas didn't. Before we go any further and test the gouache paints, I wanted to say, look, I've brought this pencil back to its former glory. It was traumatised. Sorry, can you hear the dog barking in the background? I think that's Bertie. We have two dogs, Bertie and Cadbury. Yeah, so that looks good. I revitalised it with this pencil sharpener. That's the one I would normally use. It's a heavy brass one, given to me by my good friend Dwayne in New York. It's part of a gift that he sent me once. Lots of art materials through the post. Yeah, so this is the same brand as the one that's mangled the pencils, so I'm dropping bits all over the place. I had another go with this one, which is supposed to be one of the world's best pencil sharpeners, and look what it's done to this pencil. There's got to be something wrong with it. Right, we're now going to do some quick swatches of the Holbein Acryla Gouache paints. I have 6 of them here. Let's get a brush. This one will be good for swatching. This is just a Daler-Rowney graduate brush. They're really cheap, but I love this range. So if you can find them somewhere, they are good brushes. Right, let's swatch. Let's start with mustard and see how that looks. I'm just going to use a tiny bit. Yeah, the mustard seems to be fairly transparent in some ways. Let's have a look. It's a beautiful colour though, really nice. Right. Let's try next the Jaune Brilliant, much more peachy looking. I haven't actually used these paints in my sketchbook yet. Oh, look at that one. That's really opaque. Beautiful. That's a lovely colour. Isn't it funny how some paints are so transparent and some are opaque? But yeah. Love them both. I think they're both lovely colours. Coral red. Oh wow, this is super bright. I've been collecting them now for I think a good couple of years. Look at that. Oh, this is really opaque too. Gosh, that's gorgeous. Look at those colours. They're so pure and so rich. I just love them. These are just brilliant paints. Okay, let's try the olive next. As I said before, I think these are all colours I haven't had before. So none of them are just replacements. A bit like the Luminance pencils, I add to my collection when I feel I can afford it. And other than that, I just replace my favourites that I use all the time. Ah, there you see the olive is much more transparent again, like the mustard was. But again, lovely colour. I think I love all of their colours really. I'd love to have the whole collection, but I cannot afford it. Should we do turquoise blue? I don't know why I haven't bought turquoise blue before, because this is definitely a Natasha colour. Oh, sorry, I watered that one down a bit too much. But look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? So bright. I hope this is coming out on camera. I think turquoise is a bit of a difficult colour when you're photographing it or filming it. But yep, absolutely lovely. And the last one is misty blue. So we've gone from one really bright blue to a very pale, pale hint of blue. Almost grey by the look of it, and I already know it's a colour I'm going to use a lot. And why is that? Because it looks quite grey. But there we go, look at that lovely buttery thick paint. So there you go, those are the 6 colours, the new colours in my collection of acrylic gouache. And I will try to find the time to make a video on these paints. Okay, so now we're going to talk about the papers and sketchbooks I bought. So we won't open them all up because they're all pretty much the same, and I have this one that's already open to show you. But yeah, we've got the little ones, which I'm going to be keeping for travelling and just popping in my backpack when I'm out. And then this lovely landscape one, which I haven't used yet, but is absolutely lovely. I'm going to tell you what I think of these in a second. I'm just going to show you. Really nice quality paper. I don't know whether it really shows on camera because I'm filming this. Well, I'm actually using Dominic's photographic light and it's making these look a little bit more blue. This is kind of a creamy ivory colour. Really nice quality paper. These are beautiful sketchbooks. I was really surprised because for the price I was kind of thinking that they might not be that good, but I have to say from now on I'm probably going to switch from Moleskine to these, because I used this one the other day for the first time to make this drawing. Just lay that down. And I loved it. I mean, look at it, it's smooth, it's beautiful. If you make a mistake, it seems to erase really well without making a hole in the paper or making the paper really rough. I have to say, the quality, I could not tell the difference when I was working on this compared to the Moleskine paper. The only difference is that Moleskine has like a little pocket in the back so that you can put any loose, I don't know, bits of paper or whatever you want to keep, reference material, and these don't, but I never really use the pocket anyway. They have the elastic band just like the Moleskine, they have the little marker, the little ribbon marker, and yeah, I really highly rate them. The quality is excellent and they're about a third of the price of Moleskine. So these are the Royal Talens Art Creation sketchbooks. If you want a good sketchbook, I would really recommend these. So to talk about the other papers, I'm just going to show you a couple of things I have in progress here, because I have been using them. We're going to test out the black papers on camera, but with these ones I just thought I would tell you that I have been using them. This is the Archer's £300 hot press paper, so it's really smooth, and I've started this bird painting and I love it so far. It's lovely the way it takes the paint, so you sort of see the brush strokes a little bit. As you can see, it's very thick, very stiff. Yeah, so I'll be using this more in my work when I do, and I happen to be filming it. I'll talk to you more about it, but it's an expensive paper, but I think it's going to be great for some of the techniques I want to do. And this is the paper I told you about, the Bockingford paper. This is really thick as well, and I am actually working in Acryla Gouache. This is obviously a seascape. These are all going to be really patterned, and we're going to have lots of lovely stuff going on down here. But this paper is excellent for watercolour and gouache, and the Acryla Gouache as well, which, as I said, is what I've used here so far. Yes, so I obviously need to finish these paintings, but I just thought I would tell you that I'm using the paper, and I mean, this is one I use all the time anyway, but just to give you an idea of how they look, you see this one is textured, so some of the lovely texture sort of shows through when you're painting. So finally we're going to test the Stonehenge Aqua Cold Press paper. This one, as you can see, is quite thick. It's £140 paper, so it's reasonably sturdy. I'm going to test it with the Acryla Gouache, and I've got also Winsor & Newton Designers Gouache and a couple of Daniel Smith watercolours. I just randomly chose these just to see how they look and how well they stand out on this paper. Okay, so I'm going to start with the Acryla Gouache in Pale Peach. We'll see how well this... I didn't squeeze too much out of the tubes. I haven't got much here to swatch actually. That stands out quite nicely on there. Let's try the other colour. think this one was coral red, wasn't it? I just chose 3 colours at random, really. They look amazing on the black surface, don't they? And you can get some really nice texture as well, because this paper is lightly textured. If you brush like that, you get this amazing texture showing through. I'd usually do a couple of layers of gouache, so you see if I build it up, it covers really well, and it looks really striking against that black background. Okay, the other one was ash blue. Let's just see how that looks. Yep, that looks really good. I've watered this one down a little bit more, but I really like how the paint feels on the paper. I think this could be really interesting. I mean, a lot of the time in my work, I actually take white paper, paint it black first, and then work from there, because I work from dark to light. But with this, it's just cutting out the need to paint the background black. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to using this. Let's try it with the Winsor & Newton gouache. So this is just a normal gouache paint. Again, it takes the paint really well, and I can get this lovely smooth effect or the textured effect, which I really like. Okay, let's have a look and see how well these watercolours show up on this paper, because I wasn't convinced. I mean, I knew gouache would look good on this, but I wasn't completely convinced that watercolours will stand up. So this is Prussian Green by Daniel Smith. Let's have a look. I mean, it's quite a dark green, so maybe it won't show up very well, but we will see. Sorry, I think I've still got a bit of a bit of the flesh tint on this brush. But yeah, that looks pretty good. I don't know how well you can see that on camera, but it's showing up quite well for me. And then last, we're going to try this yellow, another Daniel Smith watercolour. As I said, I just chose different colours at random from my large collection of watercolour and gouache paints, just to see. Oh my goodness, this does actually show up really quite well. Wow, I think I'm going to have fun with this paper. It feels really nice as well. So there you go, every colour I chose is standing out quite well against the black background. Hopefully you can see that. Obviously the darker shade is that Prussian Green. Doesn't stand out as much, but it has a lovely depth to it. So there we go, I like that paper. I'll be using it in future videos, so we will talk more about it then, once I've used it a little bit more, but first impressions, very good. So as you can see, I've just cut a very small piece of the large sheets of paper. They were quite expensive, so I didn't want to use too much, just to play around with and swatch on. But let's have a go. I've got some Caran Neocolor crayons here. So let's just see how they look. Gosh, this feels lovely to work on. It's a very smooth paper with a kind of slightly velvety surface. Seeing with this smudge a little bit, don't they? I've just got a few colours here just to see. It's beautiful. Even though it's smooth, there's a slight texture coming through, and I love that. Wow, everything stands out really well. Gosh, this will be fun. I haven't really used my Neocolors all that much. I've used a couple, as I said earlier, of the greys quite a bit, but I haven't actually experimented with the colours very much. So I'm just scribbling away here. These are not neat swatches. Right, let's try the Caran Luminance pencil. This one is a beautiful greenish blue or bluish green. Oh wow. Let's do it a little bit more firmly. Yeah, they look gorgeous. I love that they look slightly chalky. That's beautiful. Wow, I really like both of these papers so far. This I think is the white, yeah. Let's just see. This will be where the white pencils come into their own. It's funny, the pencils and the Neocolor, they look very similar. I can barely tell which is which actually. I love how colours look against the black. It's interesting how different they sometimes look because of the black background. That's a Faber-Castell Polychromos, and so is this one. Yeah, everything is just looking amazing and feels really good as well. Yeah, I love it. Okay, the last thing I thought I would test is to see how the Posca pens take the paper. Yeah, that's amazing. Feels good and they stand out so well. But I think that brings our art haul colour swatching and testing to an end. This has been an incredibly long video. If you're still here, still with me at the end, thank you so much for joining me. I will be back soon with another video. I hope you enjoyed this one.